Yes, good evening. Welcome back to the channel. Hope each and every single one of you are doing well. We have got some transfer news talking about a Hertha Berlin midfielder. We're also going to be talking about Antonio Conte's comments on Tottenham. We're also going to be talking about Conor Gallagher and Timo Werner. But without further ado, if you're enjoying the content, please do go down, press the thumbs up like it says on the screen right now. Helps me out massively and lets me know you are enjoying the content. Also, go down and leave a comment. Before we get into the video, I want to announce we have launched Henry Talks Football, where we will be talking about all footballing matters from the Euros, transfer news on other clubs, Man United news, Chelsea news, Premier League news, La Liga, Serie A, Bundesliga. We have got so much content coming on that channel. Every Tottenham-related content now will be on here, and Henry Talks Football will have so much news. If you go over and subscribe, that would be great. It will be pinned in the title. Now, a bit of transfer news regarding a 16-year-old German international from Hertha Berlin. Now, you're going to be thinking, Henry, who on earth is this? But it's all over the timelines. His name is Boris Lum, according to transfermarket.co.uk. He's a 16-year-old German under-17s international defensive midfielder. But get this, he can play a number of positions. He can play defensive midfield, he can play centre-back, he can play central midfield, and he can play left-back. 17 games in the under-17s German league, 2 goal contributions, is German and Cameroon citizenship. Contract expires June 30th, 2026. Now, this got me thinking. Now, Tottenham have already announced that Lucas Bergvall will be joining us in the summer. And the year after that, Vzokovic will be coming in as an 18-year-old who he signed from Split in Croatia. Now, Tottenham are definitely building something in terms of these young profile players. And when you look at the actual squad we've got right now, other than a couple of players, the overall squad is actually quite young, which is making me think we've got 25.4 is our average age in our squad. And, you know, you've got the likes of Brennan Johnson, who's 22, 23. Kulusevski's 23. Udogi's 20. Sar's 20. You know, and we are definitely building something that the club should hopefully be proud of in the next couple of seasons. You know, in terms of this German player, there's a lot of talk about him. I've read a scouting report that he's an out-and-out defensive midfielder, but does like to get forward. That is the report, and he looks, from a couple of clips, I mean, it's only, you know, the under-16s level, so you can't really compare it to anything that we watch week in, week out, but he does look talented. Now, Tottenham, 3 positions we need in the summer to be competing. Well, it's more than 3. It's 3 main positions and then squad depth. In my opinion, we need an out-and-out number 6. We need a winger and we need a striker. Now, it looks like we're potentially going to bring in Lucas Bergvall, which then potentially creates a problem with the number 8 position because we don't have an out-and-out number 6. And you've got Bissouma, Sar Torre, Benson Court, Højbjerg, Lo Celso, who can all play the 8 role. But in terms of that, I generally think that Tottenham are building something to be proud of in the next couple of years. We're being linked to young players like Jonathan Rowe from Norwich. There was a couple of young players from Blackburn and Charlton, Lucas Bergvall, Vzokovic, you know, and now another young, talented player. So does that mean that the question I have is, are we building long-term for after Postecoglou? Because these players aren't really going to get to their prime until 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years later. So what I've always said and what I'm going to say right now is, even for after Postecoglou, I want Tottenham to create a system that the likes of Ajax have, the likes of Sporting have, where it doesn't matter if you're playing in the under 9s, under 10s, under 15s, under 18s, under 19s. The same style of football is played from the younger teams, the youth teams, the academy, all the way to the first team, so that there isn't a huge adaptation. So it shouldn't take time and time for a young player to fit in. You know, if you look at the likes of Manchester City, when the likes of Cole Palmer come through, or Foden come through, or Rico Lewis come through, you know, or Pedro Porro. I mean, their academy just churns out players all the time. But there's never a level where it takes them time. They just slot in like a glove. Now, the report coming out from Sport Bold says that we are looking to. He's already been at the ground. This player, he watched the Bournemouth game. They're trying to persuade Tottenham. Tottenham are trying to persuade him to be the right destination, and we've already done that with Timo Werner. He joined Tottenham over Manchester United. The likes of, Radu Dragusin chose Tottenham over Bayern Munich, and Bergvall chose Tottenham over Barcelona. So Ange Postecoglou has definitely got away with words, and right now Tottenham are beating lots of big football clubs to signings. Now, Sport Bio would have come out with a report, and it says RB Leipzig are expecting Tottenham to activate the purchase option in Timo Werner's loan deal at the end of the season. Now, Timo Werner is getting a hell of a lot of stick. And Timo Werner and Brennan Johnson are getting absolute pelters left, right, and center. He's on loan for the remainder of the season. We have an option to buy for around 17 million euros. He can play through the middle. He can play as a left winger. Since he's come to the Premier League, he's played 4 games and got 2 assists. I do think that some of the criticism is completely unnecessary. I mean, what are you expecting a loan player to do in the 6 months that he joins, playing with new teammates in a new country? I know he's played in the Premier League before, but no one can say that they was expecting him to come and rip this league to shreds. But I do think that the criticism is, a little bit like, what are we doing? What are you expecting Timo Werner to do? It's a stopgap signing. And if we have the opportunity to make it permanent at that price, I mean, he's got 113 goals and 47 assists. So 160 goal contributions in 213 games for RB Leipzig. I mean, even his Chelsea record, 44 goal contributions in 89 games. Yes, stats aren't everything. And then one of the metrics and now that a lot of people use to identify if they think a player is good or not. And I know a lot of stats can paper over the cracks. You can have a player that can literally dominate football for, a 90-minute game, but because he doesn't get a key pass or because he doesn't get an assist or a goal, it means to do nothing. If you look at players like Bernardo Silva, he doesn't get goals and assists every single game, but he is literally controlling that game. So in terms of Timo Werner, look, if we get the option to buy it for 17 million euros, there's a lot worse players out there. And at that cheap price, I wouldn't be too disappointed regarding that. Like, I don't think that would be a horrendous bit of business. Now, Sammy Mokbel from the Daily Mail gave us an update regarding Conor Gallagher, and it says Tottenham have a solid interest in Conor Gallagher and are open to negotiating a deal this summer should he be available. It's understood that Gallagher would prefer to remain in the south of England, and if he were to make a move, leaving the door open for a possible move to Spurs, despite the midfielder's Chelsea roots. Now, Conor Gallagher scored twice the other night for Chelsea in a 3-1 win in the Premier League at Crystal Palace, where they were 1-0 down, which took Chelsea from 11th to 10th. Like, calm it. Conor Gallagher, an interesting one. I don't see the value in 40 or 50 million pounds with a year left on his contract. Also, I think we need an out-and-out number 6. That, for me, is the priority. I don't think spending, 50, 60 million quid on a midfielder. Yes, he's homegrown. Yes, he fits the system, but it's not what the priority is. We need a DM. We've already got Bentancur, Bissouma, Lo Celso, Sarr can all play the 8 role, even potentially Kulu, even potentially Pedro Porro. Conor Gallagher is not an out-and-out DM. Yes, he's got some good stats for Chelsea. Yes, he's very reliable. Yes, he gets stuck in. Yes, he's homegrown. But for me, I don't see the value in Tottenham going and putting 50, 60 million pounds down on the table to bring in a midfielder who, let's be honest, isn't that much better than what we've got at the moment, or is he even better than what we've got at the moment? You guys be the judge of that. For me, I don't see the value in putting 50 or 60 million pounds down on the likes of Conor Gallagher. I really, really don't see it. Like, let me know your thoughts down below on this if you haven't already. I think we need an out and out six. I think we do have a homegrown problem. That's where he can, tick a few boxes. Ali Gold put out an update last night saying Ange Postecoglou hands responsibility for the environment in the dressing room to the players themselves. Self-governed by Captain Heung-min Son, self-governed by his vice captains Romero and James Maddison, and the experienced heads such as Vicario, Bissouma, Davis, and Foster. Those inside the club say it's the tightest knit group of players the club have seen in a while, with no cliques or divisions, thanks to a number of players who bring all little groups together. And look, if you want to win trophies, if you want to win a league title, you need to have like a family in there. You need to have a squad that all are singing from the same hymn sheet. You need to have a squad that want to and need to and know what the end goal is. If that's to win trophies, you can't be having bust ups left, right, and centre like that. That's pretty. In terms of Tottenham, though, linking and being linked to a lot of young players, in terms of where we are under the first year under Ange Postecoglou, 1 point clear of Aston Villa, going for top four in our first season, with Crystal Palace, Wolves, our next home games, 5 games unbeaten in the league. We are making the right strides. I just desperately want Tottenham to lift an FA Cup or a domestic trophy very, very soon. But you need a squad to be united and together. Lots of people can say what they want about Arsenal's process. Lots of people can take the moral, take the mick out of them, laugh at them. And I understand it's banter. But right now, Arsenal are 2 points off top. I know Man City have got a game in hand. They're smashing teams like Palace and West Ham 5-0, 6-0, beating Liverpool. They've beaten City. They've beaten Forest, and they're 4 games in the league unbeaten with winnable games coming up. Arsenal right now are absolutely flying in terms of they know the goal. They all understand what the goal is, and that's to win trophies. Admittedly, they haven't done that, but I think Tottenham are following a similar path. It may be not necessarily a process because I hate using that buzzword, but in terms of a journey, Tottenham now, there's no excuse for Tottenham not to go and win trophies now. And I know it's ironic because we've been knocked out the League Cup so early, in the FA Cup so early, but Tottenham genuinely have all the foundations laid to go out there and fight and battle for the biggest of trophies. If we get into the Champions League in our first season, I know it's not a trophy, and I know it probably doesn't mean anything in the long run because we're probably not going to go and win the Champions League, but it's the first kind of step that any big team does under a new manager. Like Jurgen Klopp, when he got in the Champions League the following year, I'm pretty sure he went and won it. The year after that, he won the league title. It's kind of like one of the first kind of speed bumps you get to. You tick it off and you get over it, and then you go again. But I generally think right now the main focus should be getting in the top 4 for the remainder of the season, and then kind of go from there. I mean, what do you guys think? Let me know if you haven't already. Make sure to leave a comment, and I will see you all in the next one. Thank you all for watching.